Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small large block ship that's perfect for the very start of survival mode as your very first ship. And well, this thing is called the C-18 Pen, which is this lovely thing over here. So this ship is absolutely perfect, like I said, for the very start of survival mode as your very first ship. And that's one of the reasons why we're currently parked right next to the Earth-like planet, because we're just on the cusp of where the gravity hits zero and we're officially in space. Let's grab hold of my character, hop into the cockpit, all the way down to here, bring up the HUD. As you can see, I fully tested this out by choosing the lowest section on the Earth-like planet I could find, and just holding down forward, scooting myself into space, and as you can see, with the hydrogen tanks on here, and while being in survival mode, with nothing using the O2H2 generators, we've got 28 hydrogen remaining, which is more than enough for us to go over to an asteroid, find some ice, shove it into our O2H2 generators, and refill up that tank. And of course, we've got plenty of places around here to upgrade it with ore detectors, because it does not happen on here by default, but I'll show you later on where you can shove this on here if you want to do that. And of course, we can always put some guns on there if you want to do that. That's entirely up to you where you want to put them. Anyway, my character hopping out of this, oh, don't know where that character is, let's hop out this ship instead. Bringing the free camera all the way back over to here, pressing F10, finding it in spawn menu. The C-18 Pen is 84 large blocks, using a couple of the DLC packs. And it also has a nice little introduction where it says that the 4-year-old son of the creator helped design the ship to make it look more like a rocket and to make it blue. Anyway, we'll go give this thing a thumbs up, we run towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, have a very quick tour of the interior, which is basically a 1-block room. And of course we'll go and test out, see how it handles, and oh boy, does this thing handle really well. Anyway, at the very front, the C-18 Pen, this is what we get, and well, that's a slanted window block, where right behind there we can see our standard cockpit to drive this thing around. Surrounding all of that, we've got some lovely light blue and white steel blocks to make up the main body. Then down below here is one of many hydrogen thrusters around this ship to give it some great speed to scoot you well from the planet's surface and all the way through space. To the right hand side of that, we then got our beacon, currently sitting on top of a battery. Then over here we can see a yellow conveyor just linking our cockpit all the way across to our hydrogen tank, which is powering our hydrogen thrusters. And then moving up just a little bit, moving around onto the side, here we go. So that's all we can see, so it's just a bunch of blue and white steel blocks till we go to this section right here. So here's another hydrogen thruster for our left and right. Here's a bit of orange to give it that nice overall rocket-like look where it sort of rounds off the back with a few fins here and there. And at the very back here, we've got some black corrugated skin with a railing on the back of it just for a bit of extra decoration. Around towards the very back of this thing, there we are, got 2 more hydrogen thrusters, got a flare block right in the middle, down below there is how we're going to connect it up. We then got some diagonal truss blocks to connect up our O2H2 generators to the rest of the ship. There is our gyroscope, and we get a bit closer over here, and then see a very clear view of our O2H2 generator right above our gyroscope. Anyway, pulling away from here, moving all the way down underneath it. Pulling my light, there's a cargo container with an access panel on the bottom of it, there is our hydrogen tank, there's a lone hydrogen thruster that's good enough to keep you off the ground or on a planet. Over here you might be able to make out that is a magnetic plate. And there's of course our battery with our beacon, and there's a curved conveyor from our hydrogen tank over to our cockpit. And there we are. If we move the camera all the way up and look down at this thing, that's where I'm standing, right next to that little gap getting inside. There's a lone hydrogen thruster to move us down, and then got some hazard skin on top of our O2H2 generators. Then once again we've got our orange, blue and white steel blocks to move across towards the front, which is where our cockpit is currently sitting. Anyway, down to here we've got a ladder, but it's much more easier for me to grab hold of my character and head down there myself. So all the way down, here we go. And this is what we get for our interior. So we've got a doorway for our cockpit to drive it around, then behind us, a survival kit to recharge yourself up, and to heal yourself up, and to respawn on if you have died in combat. And with that, that's pretty much it for all the ship has to offer on the outside and the inside. So all we've got to do now is get into the cockpit, and we'll go through the controls, then drive it around. And yes, this thing is incredibly sensitive, which is why I said it's very responsive when driving it around at the very start of the video, because a slight hit of the mouse will, well, flick it all the way around. It's very hard to control, so you may want to turn it down to a level that you're more comfortable with. Anyway, bring up the HUD. These are the only controls we get, with number 1 that connected at the back there to lock and unlock it. Number 2 is then for your beacon at the front to turn that on and off. Number 3 is then for your batteries to auto recharge, and that will take your power off completely, because that is the only power source on this ship. Number 4 is then for your hydrogen thrusters all around the ship to turn it on and off. Number 5 is then for your magnetic plate to lock and unlock that. And then finally, number 6 for your flare block at the back there, so if you're getting chased by missiles, you can actually shoot them out, and hopefully they'll distract them while you scoot away and back to safety. And there we are. That's that for the controls. So now we're going to fly this thing around, then we'll just go over a few places where you can put some upgrades on this if you want to do that. But anyway, moving forwards, here we go. So this thing has a nice bit of speed behind it, like those 2 hydrogen thrusters, And like I said at the very start of this video, it's more than capable of getting out of a planet's atmosphere. Might struggle a little bit on per turn with the extra gravity or the more heavier gravity, but for the Earth-like planet in 1.0, you can easily do that with its hydrogen tank. Anyway, come to a stop, we've only got one hydrogen thruster, so we are a little bit slower than moving forwards, but still very respectable at the end of the day. No risk of this thing slamming into your base at high speeds. There's going to be plenty of time for you to stop before approaching it. Left and right will be the same as moving backwards, we've got some nice speed with that. Moving down, again, will be the same as left and right. And moving up will, of course, be the same as left and right. Moving back and moving down. And there we are. Then as for gyroscope controls from a first-person perspective, here we go, all the way around. This thing is absolutely crazy with its sheer speed it can turn around by default. Yes, you can always change that very easy by coming to the control panel, finding the gyroscope, and just switching it down a little bit. There we go, down to 35. That's much more better. Still very responsive when moving it around, but not too overly responsive where a slight hit of the mouse will then do an almost 180. And yes, there will be linked to the Skybox description below. It's a very fancy one, a very old one. Nice dark area up here, big splodge of blue, and down there is a gigantic planet Earth with a bunch of lights showing up all the cities, and all the sheer density of where people are living. And with that, all that's left to do is for me to hop out of this seat and show you where you can upgrade this thing with other little bits and pieces that could be useful in survival mode if that's what you want to do with this ship. But anyway, come to the front, here we go, we've got ourselves our lovely beacon, but we can always remove this if you don't want to have the beacon on there and shove an ore detector right in that very spot. If you don't want to do that, you can always remove that, put an antenna there instead. I went for the compact antenna because it does look very nice, especially with the rotated around like so. Kind of looks like a massive gun, a massive machine gun, or a artillery cannon. Kind of shame we can't actually shoot it, but it would be kind of silly to shoot through an antenna. And of course, round towards the very back here, can always remove these truss blocks right here. So coming over here, bring up the HUD once again, and removing that, putting an ore detector right there. There we go, that fixes up that problem. Then over here, removing that, and then putting the beacon at the back there. And there we are, we now got a very short area at the back, and a nice spike at the front. So now we go out about and scout ore patches on asteroids, go and find that ice to refill up our tanks, or any other resources we need to start building a base in space. And there we are, and of course for a gun, where we can set this. In fact, that's the wrong gun. Kind of got a bit confused there, because I was thinking it was a small block ship. Yes, finding a large block gun. Where do we want to have one of these? I suppose we could have a... Oh, I suppose we could have an artillery gun if we wanted to. A rail gun, which could be a bit funny to put on there. Or even a turret. We could have a Gatling gun turret, and maybe just shove it on top. It would be a little bit awkward to actually place it. We would have to remove a few of the fins on each side. But we could very easily say slap it down to this section right here. So there we go, now just place it down. Did have to remove a bunch of armor panels on the top there, so that now exposes the survivor kit right there. We lost our armor panel on there, but that doesn't matter too much. And then around the back there, part of the fin had to go. But nevertheless, we now got a turret on there for a bit of defense from any kind of pesky drones that could come harass you on your adventure. And there we go. So that's that for what the C-18 pen has to offer, what it looks like and what it could do. And I suppose all that's left to do with this thing is for me to slam it into an asteroid, blow up that way, because there's not too much else to talk about. So here we go, we're now approaching the asteroid at maximum speed, and we also get a lovely view of the skybox in the distance there, where once again there will be a link to it in the description below. But in 3, 2, 1, a little bit off, we're going to scrape that bomb bit, no we are not, we're going to slam straight into it, and deal a nice bit of damage to the ship, to the point we've only got a few bits remaining. Look at that, we've got a hydrogen thruster, we've got 2 hydrogen thrusters, we've got a connector now going off on its own little merry voyage. And down to there, we've got a few little bits here and there. But it looks like both our railings at the back from those corrugated steel blocks or those corrugated armor panels have survived and will now do their own little thing in this world. But anyway, as I said, it's a lovely little ship to use it in your world if you do want to have a starting ship for survival mode that can make it out of the Earth's gravity, with hydrogen remaining for you had to use to explore space, and to get yourself all set up with a small little base on an asteroid if that's what you want to do. So be linked to the description below if you start it and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do, and I'll be back with another video sometime soon. Bye bye.